first day of rehearsal is usually just a run-through of the play. We hand out something for the kids to sort of read along with, but it is the first introduction to the play, and we want to make it as complete as possible so all the kids actually know what it is they're going to be rehearsing. It's a huge group of birds.
Okay, we'll take that whole part again.
It starts out really, really big and spread apart, and everybody's performances are all in different places, and the kids don't know what they're doing yet. And as we rehearse more and more every week, you see a sort of tightening up of the show. And they begin to understand how they fit in, because right at first they all want to be on stage all the time. And it's really hard for them to realize that they have a little piece of a big puzzle.
And come back here totally unprepared next week, right?
Getting the kids to respect each other is the most challenging part of putting on a play. I think it's probably the most challenging part of education in general.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Because everybody thinks it's their story. Our lives are our stories, and we're the stars of our own stories, and we all think we're the leads because we are in our own stories. But when you are putting on a show, no matter whether you've been cast as the lead or you're in the chorus, it's our story that we're telling, and there isn't anybody that's unimportant. Everybody's there to help tell the story. I want you guys to start thinking about stylized realism. So instead of as casual as Hello Toad, which is very natural, I want you to already start projecting.
Black clover.
And get that blah as just as long a curve as the other ones. Black clover.
Black clover.
Good.
Can't wait to get a little toad, get a little toad, get a little toad. Please tell me why.
Okay, then what comes next?
My name is Karen Victor. I make sure everything happens at the right time in the right place. Get the kids in here and send out all the memos. I also design the costumes too.
We step on 1, 2.
As a dance captain, I have the opportunity to teach the kids a dance and hopefully help them to understand what it's like to be on stage before they get there.
So let's just see how we do. Let's get to that point, okay?
Say it with me. This part requires...
Getting the kids in the house who are watching a rehearsal on stage to sit and watch and be attentive.
And everybody
Is some of the most challenging work we do here.
we're thinking about what we were supposed to be doing with our hands and our feet and all that stuff, and our faces all went on vacation.
It's not getting the kids to sing louder or smile bigger or dance better. It's actually about getting them to understand that what's happening on stage when they're not on stage is just as important as when they're in the spotlight.
Really, Rob? You think so? I'm sure of it.
Just start rolling it up like that. Kind of make it look like grass, okay? Who's gonna do it first? Okay, Grant, you do it first.
One of the things that I love about doing the shows here is how it's a PTA function. The parents are, without a doubt, essential to making this show happen.
Okay. I think it's Allie's turn here. No? I want to do it a little bit. These strips I made like
The children get to see their parents make an effort, and it changes things. It changes the way people see things. It's just phenomenal. That is the biggest gift to me, is to watch these kids change because of everybody's. It's a community investment, and that's the thing I just love the most about this.
What 3 things are you wearing home? Your shirt, your pants, your socks.
Tech Week is the name for our last week of rehearsal. It stands for Technical Rehearsal Week.
Are you going to wear them to rehearsal tomorrow?
yeah!
Are you going to wear them to the show on Saturday?
Yeah!
Okay, very good.
It gets easier every year, I think, until the very last week, and then it's just mayhem. But it always seems to come together, and one of the things that I have learned over the years is that up until that very last week, things are getting crazy, but then the last week, everything sort of comes together. It just falls into place, and we do our shows, and it's amazing.
It is a maddening period of time because the kids really want it to be about them. and it can't be.
I don't want to be.
Okay, are you in the first row or the second row? Okay, first or second? Second row? Okay, right back there.
Inevitably, when we go to the stage, when we actually get to the auditorium where we're performing, that's when it all happens. That's when it clicks in. It's usually total chaos, and the rehearsal, technical rehearsal, is extremely bad. We're lucky if we actually get through the whole show.
Okay, now what happens when...
But we always have this joke that the worse the rehearsal, the better the show. And we know if it's a really horrible, frustrating rehearsal, it's going to be a fantastic show. And it's not failed us yet.
I see what it does for them year after year, and I hear things like, my child could barely utter a peep when they had to deliver a report last year, and this year they just stood right up and they gave their report in full voice and looked at the crowd. And so for the idea that, the simple idea that it actually produces more confident people.